नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Kotaris, Tanedars, visitors, viewers, sitting with us through Sadhana TV, Nityananda TV, and two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha all over the world, cities sitting with us, in two-way video conferencing, having Nayana Diksha, German, San Jose, Madurai, Kulim, Tiruttani, Oklahoma, Somanatham, Guadalupe, Rameshwaram, Toronto, Kailasam, Jorpati, Nepal, London, Kashi, Seattle, Chidambaram, Nityanandeshwara Temple, Pondicherry, Mukta, Seattle, Singapore, Singapuram, Los Angeles, Hollywood, New Jersey, Omkareshwar, Enriching Temple, Biddi, Oman, Sivagangai, Surrey, Canada, Nityananda Nagaram, Tiruvannamalai, Nityananda Nagaramu, Hyderabad, Kuala Lumpur, Parani, Phoenix, Kanchipuram, Ohio, Prayag, Hyderabad, Gupta Kashi, Los Angeles, Nityananda University, Los Angeles, Orlando, Florida, Phoenix, Kanchipuram, Hong Kong, Sirgari, New Zealand, Adi Arunachalam, Houston, Kalahasti, Scottsdale, Arizona, Varanasi. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I'll expand, continue to expand on Sankhya, before introducing Sankhya, I'd like to introduce the methodology, the way of thinking by human beings. Please understand, thinking is one of the powerful weapon, tool you have, like legs, walking. Legs and the ability to walk to using the legs is one of the capability you have. If you put your legs this way, you will go forward. If you put your legs this way, you will go backward. It's a system. To climb the hill, you have to use your legs in certain way. There is a system. Just like legs have their own method, way, hands, they have their own way, method, system. Thinking as a system, please understand, from the beginning, from the young age, we all have been taught how to use our hands, legs. We pick it up seeing people around us. But unfortunately, the thinking was never taught systematically, scientifically. Your thinking can be binding you. Your thinking can be liberating you. Your thinking can be binding you. Your thinking can be liberating you. I have seen sometimes kids, they will put their legs and steps such a way, their own legs will lock them and they will fall on the ground. Same way, there are people, their own thinking brings them down. For example, if you are thinking you will have food only if you snatch it from the other person, your thinking itself will bring you down. What you will do? Naturally, you will become a robber. If you think only by snatching it from the other person you will have food, you will snatch, then stealing, then robbing. Which is actually not required. It is your thinking that makes you whatever you are. It is your thinking that makes you whatever you are. Your thinking can be liberating you, or your thinking can be suffocating you. I see so many different types of people with so many different types of mental capabilities and disorders. I am telling you, mind is the most powerful instrument. The right methodology to think, right way of thinking is one of the most important thing in the human life. Just right thinking is enough to liberate you from all problems. Right thinking is enough to liberate you from all problems. Right thinking can give you ultimate liberation. All the benefits of the ultimate liberation can be lived, radiated, expressed by right thinking. Sankhya system, the philosophy of Sankhya is science of liberated thinking. Kapila is the first being radiated that science, developed that science, offered that science to the world in a very systematic way. In a very systematic way. Kapila offered that science, the science of liberated thinking, to the world. See, when you have that liberated thinking, you know who are you, you will become sure about you. You will become very certain about you. And you will become sure about who will be your friends. You will become certain about who will be your enemies. When you become certain about who is your friend and who is your enemy, you will also be certain about what your friends want from you and what your enemy wants from you. And you will also become clear what world expects from you, what you are supposed to deliver to the world. Understand, your enemy is not the world. You need to understand that your enemy may be harassing you constantly, but he is not your world. Never let your enemy occupy your inner space and guide your words and activities completely. That will be the worst defeat you will have. Your enemy may be attacking you from very stupid, foolish level. If you allow him to occupy your inner space and go on changing your words, decisions, or even trying to justify, explain yourself, I tell you, he will destroy your life. You should only know what is the world, the real world, wants from you. What is it you can add to the real world and enrich? See, it's like some floating plants will be floating on the water, small ponds, tanks. Sometimes you will not even know it is a water. It look almost like a land. How the floating plants cover the water and you mistake it for the land. These few stupid fellows who cherish enmity towards you, who harass you, will try to cover your eyes and show that they are the world. The moment you believe those stupid few enemies who harass you, abuse you constantly, they are the world, you lost your life. Because now they will be guiding you continuously. They will be standing in front of your eyes in every statement you make, every word you make, every action you do will be guided by them. That is what they want, then it means they won the game. Understand? You need to know what is the self, what is the world, what is the Ishvara, what is the humanity, and who is your enemy, and what is the world, the real world. I tell you, the more you cherish enmity towards anybody, the more you lose contact with reality. The more you cherish enmity towards anybody, anything, you lose contact with the reality, because the enmity is such, it constantly reminds about your enemy. Enemy looks too bigger than what he is. When he looks too bigger than what he is, you lose your sight on your life and reality, and you go on thinking, talking, working, either to escape from your enemy or destroy your enemy. Both are foolishness. Neither you need to escape from him nor you need to destroy him. You just need to ignore him. Because he is not that big as you are imagining. It is your enmity makes the enemy big. It is your romance makes your lover big. It is inside that makes the outside larger than life size. It is that which is inside that makes anything which is outside larger than life size. Understand? When you are so sure about what you are, who is your friend, who poses as your enemy, what your enemy wants, all these details your very thinking will be liberating you. Your very thinking will be liberating you. Your thinking can be binding you if you have a weak thinking. Just small 1 plus 1, you will not make it as 2, you will make it as 11. If you have liberated thinking, even if it is 11 or 111 or 1111, you know how to cut the 1, 1, 1 separately and break them and throw it away. Understand, the way you think should be adding more and more liberation to you every day. Every day it should be adding more and more liberation to you. More and more powerfulness to you. More and more energy to you. More and more completion to you. More and more intelligence to you. I tell you, only in the initial level completion should be practiced. Then your thinking itself should become completion based. So in the night, if you sit for completion, you will feel whole day you have beautifully thought only in the way of completion. And now you are complete, just fall asleep. Understand, no power can be equivalent to the power of completion with which you just fall asleep into samadhi. No power is more powerful. No power can be more powerful. Whether it is the power which comes by money, or power which comes by media power, or power which comes by political power, whatever power, no power can be compared to the power of completion Simply you fall into samadhi. Thinking in the flow of completion, with the flow of completion, is liberated thinking. I tell you, thinking in the flow of completion strengthens you, empowers you every day. Every day you should be getting stronger and stronger, more and more powerful, more and more intelligent, more and more brilliant, more and more alive. Thinking, using your legs, you can climb the hill or walk into the valley. Using your thinking, you can liberate yourself or bind yourself. How to use your thinking? The every moment which is happening in you, I will not use the word involuntarily. I will be very clear to remind you, voluntarily. Thinking does not happen involuntarily. If you are thinking is happening involuntarily, you are already bound. You are already bound. It is like the self-destructing. It is like a person who drinks the poison is already on the way to death. He is already about to die. He may die any moment. Same way, the person who thinks is thinking is involuntary is already on the way towards the grave, towards his destruction. Thinking is not involuntary. It is voluntary. The first lesson you may need to know about thinking is voluntary. Thinking is voluntary. And your thinking should be constantly putting you into the state of powerfulness. I tell you, if your thinking is able to put you in the state of powerfulness, the space of powerfulness, if your thinking can keep yourself in the space of strength, that is enough. You will never bother to conquer somebody. You will never bother to power over somebody. You will never bother to build enemies for yourself. And even if somebody tries to cherish enmity towards you, they can't do anything to you because you can't be manipulated by their enmity. See, only when you also accept the fear and recognize somebody as your enemy, listen, for enmity to be complete, one person has to feel enmity towards you, and you should have fear towards that person and accept his enmity. Just like friend request, enemy request. You should accept that. Only then the enmity gets completed. But if you don't have the fear and you don't cherish enmity towards them and you don't accept the enemy request, you can never be weakened. Even if millions of people cherish enmity towards you, millions of people may send friend request to you, but only the request you accepted, they become your friends. Same way, thousands may send enemy request to you, but only if you accept those requests, they become your enemy. Do not ever bother, be bound by any of the so-called enemy requests. And I tell you, if you don't have fear and if you don't cherish them as enemy, no enemy can do anything to you. Whatever they may try, no enemy can do anything to you. It's law of life. Because only when you have fear and you accept them as enemies, then now they have power over you. They will guide you as they want. They will tell you what they want and what they don't want from you. And constantly you have to be running about it. Either you will do as they want to escape from them, or you will do completely opposite to prove to them that you are more powerful than them. Both are foolishness. Just do what world wants from you. Just do what you need to do to the world. Just do how you can enrich the world. In any of your decisions, your enemy's decisions should not be mixed. Understand? Directly or indirectly, any way, if your enemy's influence gets mixed in your decisions, it is like dropping poison into the milk. Never allow your enemies to put their influence in your decisions. Directly or indirectly, if your enemy's influence is there on your thinking or decision making, it is equivalent to getting poisoned. Understand? It is equivalent to getting poisoned. Don't do just because you want to escape from enemy. Don't avoid doing just because you want to escape from your enemy. Or don't do just because your enemy does not want this. Or don't stop doing something just because your enemy does not want you to do this. Anyway, do not allow the influence of your enemy directly or indirectly into your thinking. Don't do something just to irritate them. Don't do something just because they don't like it. Don't do something just to show you don't you want to do something against them, positively or negatively, directly or indirectly, your enemies should be never be able to influence you. That is liberated thinking. That is liberated thinking. Look at the actual world to whom you need to cater, to whom you need to serve, to whom you need to offer, who needs to be enriched by you. Let them be in front of your eyes, in front of your cognition. Let them be influencing the way you think, speak, behave. I can tell you, the way you speak, don't think only others are listening. Even your own inner being is listening. When you speak out some good things, encouraging things, things puts you in powerful state, strength. The kind of a joy you radiate, the kind of a clarity you radiate, not only fills others, fills you also. When people send you enemy requests and you don't accept it, you terrorize the people who cherish enmity towards you. I tell you, you terrorize the people who cherish enmity towards you. Never accept enemy request. You see, after you accept the friend request, whether you like somebody's post or you comment, you give an abusive comment or right comment or wrong comment or bad comment, he is your friend. Same way, the moment you accept the enemy request, whether you do as he says or whether you do opposite to what he wants, he is your enemy, you are gone. Just don't accept enemy requests. Just don't accept enemy requests. You will terrorize your enemies. I tell you. Sankhya teaches you the science of liberated thinking, where no one can have influence over your thinking. No one can have power over your thinking. No one can have any say over the way you think, act. The complete liberation, complete spiritual liberation you will experience when you do not cherish, when you do not accept enemy requests. Just like Facebook friend request, in life book people send you enemy requests. Don't accept. Just don't accept. If you accept, then whatever you do, you are bound by them, guided by them, threatened by them, thrashed by them, and end of the day, when you look your life back, you would have been manipulated and used by them. You would not have lived what you should have lived. You would not have contributed to the world. You would not have enriched the world as you should have done. You would have just wasted your life answering them directly or indirectly. Sometimes few political leaders do. Their whole day goes away taking revenge on each other. So their real contribution to the world never happens. In the vendetta politics, the development gets lost. I tell you, when you accept the enemy request, you lost your power. You lost the goal of your life. You can't enrich the world. You can't do what you are supposed to contribute to the world. That is why I always tell people, whoever cherishes enmity towards me, I never say my enemies, because I never accepted the enemy request. I never reject any friend request, and I never accept any enemy request. I don't reject any friend request anywhere in the world, and I don't accept any enemy requests. Don't accept enemy requests. It will distort the way you think. Like vendetta politics takes away the growth of the nation. Where you need to contribute, you will not be able to contribute. You will be too busy. Your enemy will cover you up completely. You will be disconnected from reality. As I said, that floating plants cover the whole water. You will forget, you will not even know there is a lake or water below the floating plant. You will think it's a ground. I tell you, sometimes when people ask for sannyas, I don't give. I tell them, wait. It is not that they are not sincere, but even they cannot handle themselves when they are falling into depression. Even they can't handle themselves when they fall into depression. Only those kind of people I tell them, wait. Understand. When you accept enemy requests from people or situation, you will end up in that kind of a powerless state, where even you cannot handle you. The powerless state, where even you cannot handle you. The powerless state where even you cannot handle you is the worst hell. understand? Cherishing the style of thinking which empowers you, strengthens you day by day, more and more, is liberated thinking. Day by day, if your health is getting better, you are growing younger, you are going to live longer. If day by day your health is deteriorating, going bad to worse, you are not going to live longer. So, please understand, day by day, if your thinking is becoming more and more clear, powerful, intelligent, you are going to live longer. If your thinking is going from bad to worse, suffocating you, you are going to suffer worst thing. You will be ideologically imprisoned. The worst suffering which can happen to a human being is ideologically imprisoned. Instead of liberated thinking, you will be carrying suffocated thinking. Suffocated thinking destroys you. You may have any amount of money, you may have any amount of power, you may have anything, but as long as you have suffocated thinking, you will be destroyed, you will be suffering. How to liberate yourself from suffocated thinking and complete with all the incompletions and bring yourself to liberated thinking and go on contributing what you need to contribute to the world. Go on adding to what you need to add to the world. Go on enriching what you need to enrich the world. Understand? Each one of us have happened to enrich the world, not to just get destroyed and distracted in stupid enmity and silly fights in the life. I tell you, all fights are silly. Because the moment two people stand up to each other, opposing to fight, both of them become silly. All fights are silly. Person who contributes, enriches the world, he is the most powerful, matured being. I tell you, do not allow your enemy to make you silly. That's the most silliest thing can happen to you. Never allow him to make you look like silly. The moment you accept enemy requests, you will look very silly. Don't accept enemy request. If you allow your inner space to be influenced, guided, or driven by your enemy, you have accepted enemy requests. Don't ever accept enemy requests. It's like if you accept friend request, after that, whether you put like on the message they send or comment on it or put right comment or wrong comment or bad comment, you are guided by them. Same way, if you accept the enemy requests, after that whatever you may be doing, you are guided by them. So don't even accept enemy requests. And I have a good news for you. Nobody can force their enemy request on you. Only if you accept. Their enemy request will have value. Nobody can force enemy request on you. So understand, be in the powerful space. Never ever accept enemy requests. So what you need to contribute to the world, you can go on contributing. You can go on enriching. You can go on enriching the world, adding to the world, contributing to the world. Where you don't need to look silly. Don't accept enemy request is the essence of today's satsang. So that you don't need to look silly. You don't need to become silly. I'll continue to introduce the science of liberated thinking and then introduce Kapila, the father of liberated thinking, and then introduce the whole system, how systematically you can think, be in high awareness, full consciousness. When you don't accept your enemy requests, see, the enemy send their enemy requests by constantly harassing you or trying to harass you or trying to abuse you. When you don't accept their enemy requests, they are terrorized. Understand? All enemy requests come from a very weak space, powerless space. Only a powerless guy will say, do you know me? Do you know me? I'll show you what I will do to you. A powerful man will always tell, I'll enrich and show you how much I can enrich you. Powerless man will always say, I'll show you what I can do to you by trying to destroy you. I tell you, when you do not accept the enemy requests, the enemy is terrorized. That's the right word I'll use. Terrorized. And he fights with himself. Do not accept enemy requests. Do not accept enemy requests which puts you in powerlessness. Remain in the space of powerfulness. Go on contributing to the world. Enrich the world. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching and causing eternal bliss. Nityananda. Thank you.
Nityananda Dhyanapītam, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.